Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Crystal Palace beta save on Football Manager 23. Well, today we have got the derby against Brighton, which I said wasn't a derby, and then I got moaned at in the comments. So I didn't even clock it when we were having a look at the schedule from last game against Liverpool. Things haven't been amazing. We're still struggling a little bit. Let's show you what's happened so far. Following on from our 2-1 loss against Liverpool, we played Everton at home. We did take an early lead in the first 2 minutes. Mitchell providing for Mateta, but 2 goals coming back either side of the half-time mark for Everton gave him the win. We then started our 3-game unbeaten run. Now, not quite the run you'd want. It is 3 draws, but we started off with a draw against Brentford. Edouard getting a leveller in the 80th minute of that one. Next up is a 2-2 draw against Southampton, where a penalty in the 80 or so minutes ended up giving them the draw. But we looked pretty good for this one. And finally, Nottingham Forest, bottom of the table. We did end up getting a draw against them as well. Probably should have been a win, with Joachim Andersen firing in from close range to give us the lead, ending up 1-1. So there you go. It's not been great. We've got 3 more points on the board, and we've gone 3 games unbeaten, which is good, but it is derby day, and we're expected to get a draw at the very least. If we can get a win, obviously even better considering we're at home. So I'm not overly confident, but what we have been doing is playing the 4-3-3 when we've kind of got the advantage being at home or against slightly weaker sides, which is basically 2 of the 3 last games, and then again going to the 5 when we're playing the stronger teams, either at home or away, doesn't really matter. But today we have got Brighton. Now, do we play Tyreek Mitchell? To be honest, I'm pretty happy with Williams. He's done pretty well when he's come into the side. We'll put Rivalry on the bench. Otherwise, we'll probably leave it as it is. Edouard maybe comes off for Mateta in this one. Milivojevic sitting deep. Will Hughes in the box-to-box role with Eze in the advanced playmaker. Elise and Zaha either side of Mateta. Gay and Anderson at centre-half. A bit of a partnership growing there. Still want to look for a right-back. I'm not overly happy with Richards playing at right-back. He just, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but he just isn't quite a right-back. I'd rather him playing centre-back because that's exactly what everyone else sees him as. And Klein just isn't quite good enough anymore. But we carry on. We try and get through this season. We were actually predicted to get relegated this year, which I didn't even notice. And the board want us to come mid-table. So I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work out. But we'll just see how it goes. Brighton, obviously a very, very good side. They're having a good season once again, even though they have lost Graham Potter. But we will be taking them on today. We haven't won in our last 5 games, but we are unbeaten in our last 3. They've lost the last 2 games. And in the end, it looks like quite comfortably. Looks like quite comfortably. How am I meant to tell that? What am I chatting? Load of shit. That's what. We're currently above them in the league, but obviously all things can change very quickly. We're not even a quarter of the way through the season. Actually, I think we might just be quarter of the way through, maybe, of the season. No, we're still less than that, because 9.5 would be a quarter, I think. Anyway, Gator with is that a free kick? It looks like out wide to Richards. We're going to look to keep the ball. It's a big touch. Finds Elise, who's going to look to take on his man. No, he finds inside Eze, who has to go up and win that header. Mateta, round the corner for Zaha. Can he finish this one? He can. Left-footed strike into the bottom right-hand corner. This is another thing that has been quite frustrating, is the VAR. It is constant. There are games where every single goal is getting checked. And I know that happens in real life, but I don't need to see the VAR check thing every single time. Like, that's clearly onside because of the centre half, Webster over the other side. Why I have to see that, I don't know. Look, he's miles on. Okay, it was a bit tighter than I thought it was. I was a bit more confident than Whoa, okay, there you go. Hopefully, I haven't had the mic off the whole time, but we'll see in the edit. might do a little voiceover otherwise. Richards, Anderson, Hughes in the middle, looks for a ball over the top, not quite. Dunk heads it back away. Caicedo and Thuram in there, but Eze gets in there. Mateta into Zaha. Can he make something happen? Zaha binds Eze, who's through a goal, and he puts it away. It's 2-0 in the first 15 minutes. The boys are up for the derby. That's what it is. I've completely reverted. Massive derby. Massive derby. Especially if we win it. That's how it works, right? If you don't win the derby, it's not really a derby, but winning the derby, absolutely. But Zaha does well after Mateta wins it, and Eze just pokes it past the keeper, not giving Sanchez much hope there whatsoever. And we're up to 11th above Arsenal. So what a 3 points could do for us if we can keep hold of this for the rest of the game. But it will be Brighton. Joachim Andersen does well initially to kind of poke it, but he's had to kind of fight that back and ends up being able to clear it. But it only falls to Lamptey, who's got free on this right-hand side. It is blocked out for a corner kick. Lallana not able to get there. But we're not defensively sound just yet. Let's say that. I wouldn't say we're overly confident. But Gator coming out and claiming that one. That's exactly what you want to see from your keeper as he comes flying out and grabs onto that. 2 shots on targets, 2 goals. Lovely stuff. They're 5 at the back. Not working for him just yet. One thing I do like about something they slightly changed is the 2 attacking midfielders now look slightly wider when you've just got the 2 in there, rather than being like a straight square in front of the centre midfielders. They are slightly wider, so it makes a bit more sense, like a bit more triangular. Well, it wouldn't be a triangle, it would be a pentagon for all 5. But do you know what I mean? It's a bit more of a triangle areas rather than just straight square looking. I don't know how to describe it. But Zaha has been played through by Jetro Williams after a poor touch. And it's 3. Zaha with his second of the game, tucking it away there. A little bit of a mistake by the centre half. Obviously too much pressure on him. And we've been able to get on and take advantage. Jetro Williams, it was the right decision. A ball over the top. Defender Veltman's not quite able to deal with it. And Zaha is causing havoc now. Absolutely loving it. Spread of the legs for the keeper. So another animation to see, which is, it looks a lot better when trying to save shots there. So can't be complaining about that on that front with the new updates there. But Zaha flying. Exactly what you want from him. Mateta up top doing well. Elise, Eze and Hughes all very, very good so far. Richards on a yellow card. Now, he deserved his... Do we take him off? Because, like you say, it could get a bit fiery out there. I think we do. We'll bring on Nathaniel Klein, a bit of experience, hopefully at the right back role, to just kind of settle things down once again. They've changed formation into a 4-2-3-1 now, because they've got to go for it, try and get something out of the game. But at the moment, we are still coming forward. Nathaniel Klein plays it into Hughes, who plays a giant switch to Joachim Andersen at centre half, which is an interesting ball. We've still got it though, so something comes of this. It could be genius, as it's a lovely ball over the top to Zaha. Played it down, but Mateta's not quite able to get there. Can we get across? We should do. Anderson does very well. Brings it down into Milivojevic. Round to Klein. He's got a bit of space now, although there's a lot of pressure on him from Ben Brewerton Diaz, who I didn't realise they'd signed from Blackburn. So there you go. Look at all these teams signing players, and I can't sign a single soul because we had £1 million of budget. But we don't need it with Eze powering forward, putting the pressure on, which is nice. Sanchez, long clearance up to Max, who's driving inside now, looking for that overlap of March. They've got an overload of 4 players on 3 here, and McAllister does finish that. Not perfect. Let's go to balance now. Yeah, we were overloaded there. They had 4 men on attack, and is that Milivojevic? You were all over the shop. Nowhere near him. We are nowhere near him in the midfield. But there you go. Lallana and Caicedo playing deep. Lallana playing really, really deep, which is interesting. I guess he's not quite as athletic as he probably once was when he was a bit younger, but and they do have a few better players forward now. Mark Gay looking big to... What is that? Is that my fault? Have I told him to do something along those lines to try and find Daniel Klein over there? I don't know, but we're kind of getting away with it with Elise playing it through to Mateta. Dunk's challenge just falls nicely to Mateta, and Jean-Philippe gets his 8th goal of the season as he goes through. I don't know what Gay was doing, but it's worked, and I'm not going to complain whilst it's working. I was pretty much complaining at that point, but ignore that. We'll pop on Jordan Ayew now on the left-hand side for Wilfred Zaha, who's had a great game. And Hughes, you can come off, and we'll bring on... Yeah, let's bring on Videweld for the last few minutes. And in fact, what we'll do is we'll pop him next to Milivojevic. Eze can kind of sit in here. Sit in here. Yeah, pretty happy with that. I will bring him as a ball winner just to push forward a little bit more. Just to maybe be a bit more defensive in midfield. Try and double up on McAllister in there, who's obviously having the better of the game for their team. Lamptey having a nightmare on that right-hand side. But with a couple minutes to go, there should be that. We should have the win in the bag now with Willems doing well to find Eze. Milivojevic looks through to Elise, who's got loads of space now to run at the defender. And he shoots. It's a good save by Sanchez to keep it at 4-1. But it does go out for a corner with only a few minutes left. Shouldn't be too much hard work now. We've got no one up, really, because why would we bother? But, you know, we could still get something from this as it comes to the back post. Brereton Diaz heads away. Lallana chasing that, but Eze will get there first. And as we go into added extra time, it will end up 4-1 for Crystal Palace. Derby Day is victorious. We get a great win there. Very, very happy with that. Eze Zaha with 2, and then Mateta getting one late on in the final 15 minutes to really nail things in. I would love it. Oh, you can see that on the screen. I would love it if we beat them. Good achievement, that. I like that. All the achievements flying in at this stage with it being a new game. But finally, we got our first win in 5 games or 6 games or whatever it is. But 4 games unbeaten. So we've looking good. Maybe that's the boost we need to really push on and see if we can get 7th. You never know. I mean, it's optimistic, I'll be honest. Aston Villa up in 4th, which I don't know how that's working. But yeah, still looking very, very good. We're looking very good. We're looking better. A lot better after that result. I wasn't expecting that kind of performance, but they've got to be happy with that, the fans. So good to see there. But obviously, games with the likes of Man United and Chelsea coming up aren't going to be easy no matter where they sit in the league. We know Chelsea are 14th, Man United obviously top 4, and Villa's up there as well now. With Newcastle sitting in 10th, who's going to have spent a bunch of money. Our next 4 or 5 games, not the strongest performances available for us, I'm sure. But we will see. We will see how we get on. But we will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, leave a comment down below of any players you want to see when we get to the games coming up. And yeah. Especially if you want to... Let's show you Haaland now, because, my God, he is an absolute monster. Where is he? Come on. Look at that. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But if there are any more players you want to see whilst I'm obviously in the game, if you've got it or not, let me know. And I'll catch you in the next one.